Welcome back to Forge College. First off, I just gotta say, a huge congratulations is in order. You guys officially survived the final assembly and evaluation for the capstone. Take a quick second to pat yourself on the back. Seriously, you made it. Okay, all right, second's over. Because today we're taking everything you've learned in the smart contract security track, specifically within our capstone, and stepping right up into the bug hunting major leagues. This explainer is all about the foundations of advanced static analysis. We're going to explore the core theoretical principles that actually power the most elite security tools in Web3. Let's get right into it.
So here's our bug hunter's blueprint for today. We're going to cover 5 main things. First, beyond basic scanning. Then, tracking mud, which is all about taint propagation. After that, multiverse simulation, also known as symbolic execution. Fourth is the anatomy of custom rules. And finally, the automated pipeline. Basically, we'll hit the theory first and then assemble it into a super practical CI/CD pipeline.
All right, Section 1, Beyond Basic Scanning, upgrading your arsenal. Let's jump in.
So up until now, the tools you've probably been using rely on basic pattern matching. And look, basic pattern matching is fantastic, but it's kind of like a mall security guard. It's great for spotting the really obvious stuff right in front of it, like someone running out the door with a stolen TV. But what about catching complex, multi-step smart contract exploits? The kind of deeply hidden inter-procedural hacks that literally drain millions of dollars from protocols. For that, a mall cop isn't going to cut it. We need FBI-level forensics. That brings us to a core difference in scanning approaches. Path-insensitive scanning is your mall cop. It's incredibly fast, it looks for localized code idioms, but has very shallow context. Path-sensitive analysis, on the flip side, is your forensic team. It's deep, it's state-aware. It actually models the execution across multiple different branches of your code. It remembers the state of the program across all those branching decisions, which lets us see the big picture of a multi-step exploit. It's a total game changer.
Moving on to Section 2, Tracking Mud, Taint Propagation.
For this one, I want you to picture something. Imagine a pair of incredibly nutty boots walking across a pristine, white, super expensive carpet, just ruining it. That mental image, that's exactly what we're tracking here. At its core, taint propagation is an analysis technique that tracks the flow of untrusted data, that's our mud, from external sources, all the way to sensitive execution sinks, our pristine carpet, just to ensure it's been safely sanitized. It's this beautifully lightweight way to expose dangerous sequences across function calls and storage. And the best part is it doesn't need massive amounts of heavy, slow computation to do it.
Let's actually walk through the flow of that mud. Step 1 is the source. This is the untrusted user input putting on those muddy boots. Step 2 is the assignment where the taint flows into variables. Basically, the boots are now walking down the hallway. Step 3 is the sanitizer. This is optional logic to clear the taint. Think of it like the doormat where you wipe your feet. And finally, Step 4 is the sync, which is the risky execution. Now, if those muddy boots decide to skip the sanitizer doormat and step right onto Step 4, they completely ruin your critical execution sync, and boom, your smart contract gets exploited. Not good.
Okay, Section 3, Multiverse Simulation, Symbolic Execution. Time to bring out the big guns.
We are transitioning to the heavy artillery now. We're essentially introducing a multiverse simulator for your smart contracts, which lets us explore different alternate realities of code execution. And I absolutely love this quote we've got here. Symbolic execution finds feasible inputs, but exploring every branch naively causes exponential path explosion that can melt your laptop. I know, it sounds like crazy science fiction, but state explosion is a terrifying reality. If your analysis tool tries to evaluate every single possible mathematical state of a complex contract all at once, your computer is literally going to run out of memory and crash. No way around it. That's exactly why we have to use things like solver timeouts, bounding, and smart heuristics just to manage that massive computational load.
So how do we actually build this into a functional system without melting our machines? Well, we use tools like a Z3 Python solver. First, we replace our concrete inputs with symbolic variables. So instead of the number 5, we just use the variable x. Second, we accumulate branch path constraints as we make our way down the execution tree. Third, we define a vulnerability predicate, which, by the way, is really just a fancy academic way of saying we define our sync condition. And finally, we query the Z3 solver for satisfying concrete inputs. And here's the magic. The solver doesn't just guess. It mathematically proves whether a vulnerability is reachable by generating the exact concrete inputs an attacker would need to trigger the whole shebang.
Moving right along to Section 4, Anatomy of Custom Rules, Building the Trap.
We've talked a lot of theory so far, right? But now it's time to map the architecture of our own custom bug hunting rules so we can actually catch these vulnerabilities out in the wild. A custom rule is built from a few core components. We have the pattern, which is the syntactic or semantic shape we want our engine to match. Then we have the context specifier, meaning the specific target functions, storage, or modules we're zooming in on. Next is the sync, the risky operation or state change we want to flag. And lastly, we have the sanitizers, those safe transformations that clear the risk. You want to know the secret to writing a truly great rule? It's all about tight context specifiers and explicitly known sanitizers. If you don't define those really well, you are going to get absolutely buried in alert fatigue and incredibly noisy false positives. Trust me on that one.
All right, last major section, Section 5, the automated pipeline, assembly, and CI/CD.
Because listen, an engineering blueprint is completely useless if you don't actually build the machine, right? Let's talk about integrating these rules into an automated CI/CD pipeline so we get reliable, repeatable, continuous scans. Strategy really matters here. You simply cannot run a multiverse simulation on every single developer keystroke. It just won't work. So in a 1-minute pre-commit hook, we run our fast checks. In a 10-minute pull request, we go a bit deeper. Overnight, when we merge to main, we let those heavy solvers run while everyone is sleeping. And then over a 2-week period for a release candidate, we do a full human review. We have to be incredibly strategic about when we use our light tools and when we unleash the computational beasts.
Let's look at exactly how this analysis scales across the workflow. In the pre-commit stage, you're going to deploy a fast pattern linter. The expected outcome? Immediate violations with zero tolerance for false positives. Then, at the pull request stage, you step up to a medium-depth taint scan. This gives you reviewers contextual warnings with nice, readable source-to-sync traces. During the nightly merge, that's when you bring in the heavy symbolic execution to get feasible path reports with concrete reproducer inputs. And finally, for the release, you conduct a full manual audit run. This gives you the final report and allows for proper human triage.
Which brings us to our final thought for today, the ultimate trade-off. Soundness versus false alarms. In advanced static analysis, you are constantly playing this balancing game. You're weighing the fear of missing a critical bug against the risk of deafening your developers with a flood of noisy alerts. Master that balance, and you master smart contract security. But I want to leave you with a question to chew on. As smart contracts become infinitely more complex, will our automated tools ever truly replace the intuition of a human auditor? Or are we really just building better flashlights to shine into the dark? Think about it. Anyway, that wraps up our explainer for today. As always, this explainer was brought to you by Forge College. I highly encourage you to head over to our website at forge.college to learn more about this subject. Dive deeper into building those custom rules and explore all of our other Web3 related topics. Keep learning, keep hunting bugs, and I'll see you in the next one.